What's going on, peeps? It's Boxing Lowdown and I'm back here with another video. Now, this is my post-fight review to Danny Jacobs' 5th round stoppage win over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Should I say, well, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. retired at the end of the 5th round, just basically quit. I mean, let's be honest, he didn't want any more, and yeah, he pulled out, didn't go out for the 6th round. I think he was blaming a hand injury or something like that, but let's be honest, he just didn't want any more. And it just rounds off another hectic promotion involving Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Now, if you start from the beginning, this guy, he missed a drugs test before this fight was even announced. Then the fight got announced. Then it was like they were saying that they weren't going to put the fight on. Then he fails to make weight. He doesn't make the weight for the fight. The fight almost gets like, you know, it almost gets scrapped because of him being 5 pounds overweight. And then luckily for him, Danny Jacobs decided to go ahead with the fight anyway. And then he put in a performance like that and then he quit at the end of the 5th round. So, I mean, surely at the end of this now, when you look at it, this was really his last chance for redemption, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. But the way how he's conducted himself throughout the whole promotion, all the way up until the fight itself, the fans have just had enough of him. I mean, if you saw at the end of the fight, people were throwing stuff into the ring. You know, he was being pelted with all sorts of items, drink and everything else. You know, even his dad, you know, the camera panned in on his dad after the fight and he literally just had his head in his hands. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. And, you know, a legend like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., I mean Senior, not Junior, but a legend like Senior looking on at his son, you know, dyeing his hair, not really taking it seriously. I mean, it's just not good, is it? So, me personally, yeah, I mean, I can't see a way back for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. now. But let's not take it away from Danny Jacobs. I mean, he got the W, a well-needed W, and he heads on into the new year as a super middleweight. He did well up until, I think it was let's go back from the fight from the beginning then. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. actually did okay in the first 2 rounds. I mean, in the first, first 2 rounds, I think he did okay. He wasn't setting the world alight or anything like that, but he was doing okay. And then in the 3rd, 4th and 5th rounds, that's when Danny Jacobs really started to take over, especially in the 4th round. He was starting to land at will. And in the 5th, I think he bloodied Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.'s nose, and then it all kind of went downhill from there. So he was starting to get worn down and tired already at this point. So it just goes to show his conditioning wasn't there. And I mean, why would you play around with this sport? I mean, if you don't take it seriously, like with regards to making weight or conditioning or anything else, you could end up getting seriously hurt. And you see the trunks that Danny Jacobs wore tonight, that was in tribute to his good friend Patrick Day, who sadly passed away this year in October. This is not a joke, this sport. So I think Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. should look at this as a wake-up call now and probably just get out of the sport. I mean, you're not ever going to go anywhere near your father's legacy. And yeah, I mean, it's been quite embarrassing, really. I mean, you've quit before against Fonfara, and it just hasn't ended really well. So without me being too harsh or anything like that, I'm just offering my opinion. It's probably time for Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. to pursue other interests, because it doesn't seem like boxing is his main one. And like I said, with this sort of sport, you can't really afford to play around with it. So a win for Danny Jacobs. Like I said, he enters the super middleweight division. There are some good fights out there that could be made for him. I mean, Callum Smith, that would be an easy fight to make. That would be a very good fight, actually. There's Billy Joe Saunders as well, but it's looking like that those two will either be holding out for Canelo or each other. I mean, across the pond, there's Caleb Plant, there's Benavidez. So there are some good fights to be made out there for Danny Jacobs, and it will be interesting to see where he fits in the super middleweight division. So let me know your thoughts and reaction to the fight below. What would you like to see next for Jacobs? What would you like to see next for Chavez Jr.? Do you agree with me? Do you think that he should retire? Or do you think that, you know, he could still have a future if he knuckles down? But, I mean, even Freddie Roach wasn't able to do anything with him. So, yeah, that's just my personal opinion on it. But let me know yours. Drop them in the comment section below, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.